Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today is a brand new day, and now is a brand new moment. And today I have with me the energy of Ascended Master Kuthumi, who wants to talk about the polarities of good and evil and how they aid us during this time of ascension. And he wanted me to be clear about aid us, as in those individuals of the human species that are awake and aware and consciously elevating themselves up to a higher expression of being. That is, they recognize that they are no longer subjective to the body. They are no longer subjective to the elements and information stored in the mind. They are no longer receptive to the impediments placed upon them by the environment. Their sense of identity and awareness is self-generated and manifested consciously and deliberately. You are in a most wonderful time, all of you. A wonderful time where these extremes sit before you in full view, the extremes of good and evil, of right and wrong. They sit right in front of you, that you might be able to utilize the polarity of these things to determine the nature and quality that you will evolve your consciousness into and through. So those elements that you deem to be good around you and those elements you deem to be not so good around you, what you decide determines the development of your consciousness, whether your energy will rise up or whether your energy will fall down. Again, if you polarize yourself to the functions of evil and suffering, and by evil I define evil as anything that represents that which does harm to your body, to your mind, to your environment, and those around you. Anything that does harm is classified as a function of evil. Anything that does good for your mind, your body, your environment, and those around you that are deemed good, that create beneficial and positive effects for you and those around you. That you have the opportunity to utilize your will deliberately and intentionally to ascertain what is good and what is not so good is important to consider as you get to refine and define yourself by what you choose to be, to do, and what you choose to align yourself to. It is a very wonderful and opportune time, especially for those of you that are beginning to realize that the body is not the sole locus of your identity, but is in fact merely an instrument through which you gain and acquire valuable experience to develop and evolve yourself into the consciousness that you intended to become, the consciousness that you were originally designed to realize at some point in your journey through this experience of time and space. So be mindful of what you decide is good, and be mindful of what you decide is not good. For what you decide is good or not good, you must evaluate if it truly is good or if it truly isn't good. For there is much confusion around what is good and not so good. There's much been presented to you to be truthful that is not truthful at all, and much that has been presented to you as lies that is not lies at all. The truth has been made to be false, and the false have been made to be true. And yet the onus for transformation and change for your consciousness still resides in your free use of will and what you define and decide is good or not so good. When you define that which serves humanity and that which does not serve humanity, when you define what serves your body and does not serve your body, and your experience based on those decisions because your decisions will produce experiences, and your experiences will let you know if your use of will is correct or not. That is, if you eat much food that is bad for your body, it won't be too long before your body start to present conditions that are not so pleasant for it and for you to exist through it, in which case you can have the opportunity to reevaluate what you've chosen to define as good for your body and correct it, so that you can begin to enjoy the body's functioning in a way that's more beneficent to what you need to learn and experience in this dimension. The same conception applies equally to the thinking mind, the thoughts that you choose to harbor in your mind, or the thoughts that you choose to vocalize with your mouth. As words spoken and words thought are creative influences, and like putting incorrect food or correct food in your body will yield different experiences, so too will your use of thought and speech shape and sculpt your experiences, so that you get to experience the product, the sum of your thoughts, the sum of your words, and likewise with your actions. Your actions will produce circumstances and situations that may be good or not so good, but either one will result in producing experiences that, from your own subjective reality around that is what you experience as an effect of the way you use thought or action or the spoken word, and what experiences they create for you, you get to determine and make corrections to those if they're not producing experiences that elevate you up higher to joy, to peace, to love, to excitement, to dynamic change. But this is the time now. There are many of us aiding you in this journey. Do not think for a moment that any of you is alone in this process of self-realization. But it's important you understand that these conditions that you face in your life, both individually and collectively, you have the will to determine and alter the course of your thoughts, your words, and your actions to produce a more favorable outcome in terms of your consciousness experiencing the effects of your creative process in a way that elevates you up. If you have created a significant amount of suffering for yourself by your thoughts, your words, and your actions, or you've chosen to remain subjective to the thoughts, the words, and actions of others, then your suffering will simply indicate to you that you have the opportunity to make corrections with the proper use of your will in effectively changing your thoughts, your actions, your words, changing how you interact with and treat your physical organism, as this will reveal to you immediately whether what you are experiencing and exposing yourself to is good or not so good for you. When I came to William this morning, it was with the understanding that I simply wanted you to understand that all of these polarized conditions in which you find yourself, one moment someone speaks the truth and then they tell a lie, then they speak the truth. There's much confusion being presented to you. But irrespective of what is presented to you, what you choose to believe and adopt as true will create an experience for you that will produce qualities of energy, what you commonly call emotions inside yourself, that will be experienced as good or not so good. But you cannot continue to defer upon the environment, that the environment is responsible for your experiences, when you yourself have elected to think, say, and do in such a fashion as to put yourself into situations and circumstances that are producing the experiences that you're currently having. But that you are delightfully in a position to use your will to make correction, as correction is the opportunity to apply your will in such way that you gain experience with correction, how to end your suffering in a very simple, easy, and effective way with thinking, doing, and speaking. You do not understand, some of you, the full depth of your power to produce and change your experiences. And every one of you, even if you've allowed yourself to be influenced by others, every one of you has, by your function of thinking, believing, speaking, and doing, has produced the existing experiences in which you find yourself, and gives you also the opportunity to change conditions in which you find yourself into new experiences. But this requires a level of self-reflection and evaluation on what is in your mind, why you are thinking it, and where it originated, and then applying your will to change what is in your mind. Likewise, it's not too difficult for you to examine that if your body is in a difficult or distressed condition, that something caused it. And those things that caused it are often very simple to come to an understanding of. You can inherit emotions from other people. You can put bad food in your body. You can put accumulated negative thought in the body. And all of these will induce conditions that may be less favorable to what we call a good, healthy body. Likewise, though, there is the freedom to choose thoughts, actions, and behavior that can transform your body from one state into another. So this ascension process that you are all in, irrespective of the reality in which you believe you may individually be living, that you are living the life that you think you're living, you are a politician, you are rich, you are poor, whatever the existing reality that you've manufactured for yourself as your experiences, whether it is good or not so good, you may change or affect change in your experiential reality through a conscious and deliberate act and application of your will in relation to your world. You may make decisions and choose actions, choose thoughts, speak words that can change your life very, very quickly. As this ascension energy right now favors very rapid change in either direction, that direction of what you call good or that direction you call not so good. The opportunity is equal in either way, that you can affect transformation and change from a state of good into a state of evil, and you can transform a state of evil into a state of good through a proper use of your will and the application of that will in relation to thought, speech, and action towards your body. What you treat your body with, how do you entreat it? It is not that difficult, but the energy is exceptionally high now and will get higher as the demand increases. You must understand, for those of you that are saying, help me, we want to I want to change my situation, you are calling in more energy that can give you an opportunity to change your situation from one state into another. And those of you saying, I want to improve, I want to enhance, I want to become more than I am, you are also calling in more energy. As a result, the energy that we call ascension, which is a vibrational frequency that's simply a function of creation that allows you to have available to you more electronic substance to produce material changes in your dynamic physical reality. Understand that energy becomes matter and matter becomes energy, and you're constantly, through the use of your will, your thoughts, your words, and your actions, converting energy from one state into another, including the realm of your emotional nature. Your emotional energy changes from one state into another as a function of your will, or if you have chosen to defer your will to an outside source, such as your entertainment, your televisions, your radios, your teachers, your educators, even us, to whom you would ever choose to defer your attention and authority to, then you will be guided by that. But in the last analysis, it's still whether you choose to use your will or allow your will to be augmented by someone else's input, the conditions of your experience will still come down to being the effect of your own choosing. That is, the way in which you chose to use your will or to not use your will. Either way, you are still being willful. You are still producing experiences that you may do so at any moment. But the energies will get much higher in these coming few weeks for you to get very clear on what you are going to begin to focus on. If you continue to focus on deception and pain and suffering, these will increase. If you choose to focus on possibilities and creation, love and excitement, patience and peace, then these will equally be increased. The energy that we call ascension energy is non-defined until applied through the use of your will, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. The energy is literally transformed from an electronic function into a biological and physical function of what you call your biological or your material reality in which you find yourselves right now. So whether your use of will is good or not so good, the principle for either that will that is good or not so good, the principles for each and every individual are identical in how they will work. They will work the same for us as they will for you. They work the same for the poor man as they do for the rich man. They work the same for that individual that is evil as they do for that individual that is good. You must understand that this energy is non-judgmental, but configures itself to your will or to the will of those that you would defer your will to. But either way, the way in which you would defer your will to others is still a use of your will to defer to others, and you will bear the effects of the experiences produced by the will that you defer yours to. But at any time, you may reattain or take back your will and say, no, I will not accept that this belief that a man is a woman or a woman is a man. I will not accept that as a belief of reality. Then you will have very different experiences. If you accept the belief that a man can be a woman or a woman can be a man, you are establishing beliefs that will ultimately produce experiences. There is not any area of your lives that is exempt from the process of creation. Every experience in which you find yourself, or any experience in which you will find yourself, is the product of your use of your will. The collection of thoughts, ideas, beliefs, thoughts, words, and actions necessitate very precise and specific experiential outcomes for every single individual living in this dynamic system of consciousness that you call this earth. There is not one individual exempt from the effects of their own causing through the use of their will, even the lack thereof. That is, if you choose to defer your will to others, then your experiences will be shaped by the others. But you still deferred your will, and it was an act of will to defer to others, to believe something, whether it was true or not so true. So please understand that you have this wonderful opportunity to reclaim your will, to reevaluate your thoughts, to reconsider what you speak, what you do, how you treat your body. The way you use your will during this time will have great and more immediate impact on your lives than in previous decades and centuries. These incoming ascension energies are electrical in nature, and your use of will and thought and emotion configures or structures that energy into experiences. That is what you are experiencing right now. What you experienced an hour ago, what you will experience later today, is a product of that energy being transformed from the state of what we call ascension energy into the state of your experience. Ascension energy is not necessarily about ascending your energy up. It's simply the opportunity to elevate your energy up, but it equally gives those the opportunity to create greater suffering and pain within their own lives. This energy is non-discriminatory, and it will be increasing. So be mindful of what you will choose to allow your thoughts to think. Be mindful of what you will choose to give attention to. Be mindful of how you treat your physical organism. Be mindful of these things, for you are creating in any moment. Whether you believe it or not, if you think your governments, if you think that your neighbor or your friends are responsible for how you feel, then you are going to be in a bit of doo-doo in terms of trying to have a function and responsibility over your own life, because that is a function of deferral, to say that they are responsible for how I feel. They are responsible for whether or not I have a home. They are responsible. Well, what happens when one day they decide not to be responsible and you never learn the skill sets necessary to take care of your own self? But understand, you are at all times, there is no exception to this rule. Every single living individual that's in this earthly dimension, individuals that are both physical and non-physical individuals that work in this creative realm, are generating experiences. Every single one of you is manufacturing what you are experiencing, and you have been doing so from the moment of conception in various degrees. If you're willing to open yourself up to evaluating what is true and what is not true, to put what you believe to the test, is what I believe actually true. To put your words and your actions under the microscope of your own will, to evaluate whether these are good or not so good, whether they are good or evil, as those are the two polarities that you're familiar with. You call them good and evil. Some call them God and the devil. It does not matter what you call them. These polarities of energy exist. And you can be in one polarity and change to another. So be mindful of this in these coming days, that you at all times have your own free use of will if you choose to assert it. We notice that there are so many of you that are deferring your will to certain groups and individuals, deferring your will to government bodies, deferring your will to certain organizations, sacrificing your own unique individuality in hopes of finding some sense of redemption and fulfillment under the guise of somebody leading you down their garden path. In the case of the governments, you've been led down a very, very, very interesting garden path these last few years, believing that which is false to be true and that which is true to be false. And you find yourselves somewhat embarrassed, many of you, that you have made choices that were not necessarily beneficial for you and or your loved ones, because you did not choose to use your will effectively not and evaluate the information that you're receiving to come to a conscious and knowingness about what is true and not so true. But you are ultimately, while you are ultimately responsible, there are those in positions of authority who have said, let us take care of you. We will teach you. We will teach your children. We will give you entertainment. We will give you food. We will provide for you. And they, by their function of their will, have resulted in creating experiences for you that are not so good. But again, as long as you choose to give your will over to others, then you will have the consequences of reaping the benefit of that deferred use of will to the others, their beliefs, their ideas, their information, their thoughts, their actions, their words, their truths, and their lies. But understand, the opportunity is equal to every single living soul, regardless of financial condition. Every single one of you has access to this energy right now, and it will get stronger if you choose to consider the possibility that there are only two forces at work in your life and in this world. Only two forces: love and fear. They are the only two forces at work in this dimension. And of course, the many spectrums of colors to each of them. But you only have those two choices in any moment of your existence. Are you choosing love? Are you choosing fear? For those who will present you ideas can present you ideas, and you must still use your will to evaluate. Is this an idea of love, or is this an idea of fear? And we can assure you that the ideas of fear and the ideas of love produce very different experiences. One considered favorable and good, and the other not so favorable and not so good. But by your own use of will and by your own experience, you will know what you have chosen, and you are free to make correction when you recognize error. That is to say, when you recognize that this thinking and this believing and this or this is not correct, then your experience will change. If you believe, for example, that you are poor and you can never change and it's so difficult to make money, then that will be your experience. Your use of will precipitates very specific uses and transformations of this energy into experiential reality. That is, what you believe, so it shall be. What you think, so it shall be. From the perspective of wanting to address this consideration that came to us through this one earlier on the concept of what you call a new earth. Right now, you are in a new earth. That is a very polarized reality. 20 years ago, you were in another earth, and 40 years ago, you were in another earth, and 60 years ago, you were in another earth, and the earth is changing because your consciousness, your use of will is changing all the time. The idea that a functionally interdimensional Earth exists is real. There is another dimensional aspect of Earth that you can resonate with or choose not to resonate with by the nature and quality of your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions that you partake in every day. The thoughts, words, and actions that you partake in are either of fear or love. And there is a world of fear and there is a world of love, and you may choose to exist in either, but you cannot exist in both. Thou cannot serve two masters. So enjoy these coming weeks as you will find the way in which you will choose to think and believe and exercise your will. If you have heard these words, then you cannot deny that you are the creator of your experience. You may have chosen to defer that process of creation by giving your will to others, but ultimately you will always retain your free use of will if you so choose to assert that. But these coming weeks, take advantage of these increased energies and be willing to lift yourself up to a much higher estate. Equally, you may, if you choose to, you may descend yourself down to greater difficulty and struggle and suffering. But the function of creation will not be suspended or interfered with, but your experience may be that your creation is a good creation or your creation is a not so good creation, but you are always free to apply your will in different ways than you have been habituated into using it at this point in time. There are only a small number of you that have kept your will sacred and used the process of your will's capacity to evaluate and consider that you are not bound by any creed or ideology, political organization, social structure. You are a unique being marching gingerly and gently and lovingly back towards the divine within you. And ultimately, that's where you all want to wind up. And eventually you all will wind up there, if not this lifetime, then certainly in the next. So that's a really simple and wonderful subject to consider, our use of will. You know, what he was saying, that we really are in that time right now, this time of ascension. It's a real thing. This channel, this program here is all about ascension. All the master classes that we're guided to present to you are all about ascension towards love and away from fear, as that's a very different reality than the element of fear. Again, the reality of fear in the human realm is very different than what fear is in the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, fear is based on survival, fight or flight. In the human realm, we've innovated all kinds of different ways to disturb and distract and cause harm to each other. But these few weeks that he's talking about, I can feel it already happening. That these few weeks, we all have a wonderful opportunity to lift our energy up that much higher, to bring ourselves love that is truly who you are. Because that's what I've always believed, what I've been told, is that love is what you are. It's not something you acquire. When you realize what you are, then the world becomes very different for you. I'm very excited. Anyway, let's see what we got going on here. Good morning, dear friend. Good to see you too. Hi. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like the way I explain things. Do I have a podcast? I have a podcast set up, but I have not initiated it yet. But if you want to participate, I have my Patreon's only live event this evening. And we got Master Buddha coming this evening for my patrons. And he told me to call it, "Are you out of your mind?" ? Exclamation mark. And I thought it was a brilliant title. I'm very excited about that, how that's going to go. So I've got my Patreon. You can join my Patreon, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. There's a free 7-day trial you can sign up for. This would be a great time to do that, because we got our first of 2 monthly events for patrons. One on the 7th every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and one on the 21st of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're 2 different tiers, so there's 2 different rates. At the tier 1, it's basically just to choose a lower level donation if you want, or tier 2, where you get 2 live events, 2 channeled events, and where we do healing and all kinds of wonderful things happen in the extra event. So yes, no podcast yet, but Patreon live, yes. And that Patreon live event is happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You still have time to register, I believe, as either a free member or a paid member. And if you want to get included in tonight's event, what you would do is, if you've registered, send me a note or leave a comment in the video letting me know that you've signed up and you want to participate in tonight's event, and I'll ensure you get the link, as everybody else already has received it. Thank you. Any advice how to break my procrastination? Yes. Go into a state of excitement and love. Make a decision that I'm going to choose to get excited. Make a decision about what is going to happen when you're not procrastinating. What will the result be? And put your attention on what the result will be before you start doing it. This is the result of my actions. And then start taking the actions. But hold the result in my mind. Keep the idea that, because I know I used to have an issue with that too. And like, I used to think things like, oh, it's going to take so long to do that, right? And that would stop me. So I started changing my thinking when they started saying, you got to correct your thinking. So they said, you want to get excited about the outcome. So I would just say, wow, I'm going to be so excited when this is done. I'm going to feel so good. And I could see in my mind how it would look when it was done. You need to change the way your mind is thinking about that event, so that it gets excited about it. So, and only you can do that. Only you can change your mind, or unless you give your mind over to somebody else and they can change it for you, which often isn't very fun, right? Thank you for that super chat, Daniela. I really appreciate it. Has Master Kuthumi a general message for Matt's use of will going forward with his education of the arts in relation to cinema? I'm being told, please tell him that his work must be of his heart and his love. There will be many in his existing world that will seek to seduce his skills to their purposes. It is very important that he understands that the love and the heart that he has around his work must be cherished and respected by him. Tell him not to defer his vision to others unless the other's vision is higher, in which case he can learn a higher perspective as well. Thank you, Daniela. Great question. Drusilla is asking, am I deferring my will without realizing it? I'm being told yes. I'm being told yes, you have been deferring your will without realizing. They're telling me you've been deferring your will to time. What do you mean by that? He's saying that you think in terms of how much time you have to do things, and that interferes with what you end up doing. So you defer your will to how much time you have, rather than realizing your will determines how much time you'll have. That's pretty cool, Drusilla. Nice question. Um, yeah, but he's saying time. He's saying time is the big thing. Good morning, Will. Do you see how I'd be able to move out of the province? Where to or how? It's a fear fight or a flight response. I can't believe I have to run away from my favorite relatives. Um, Concern yourself with not what you're running away from. Get excited about what you're running towards. Get clear on what you are going towards. You're not going to go anywhere until you know that where you're going is going to be far more dynamic and exciting than what you are currently experiencing. Understand these words. Where you are going can be far more dynamic and exciting than where you are. But if you do not have that consideration in your consciousness, and you are bound by the idea that I'm going to lose so much by making this move, then you are not going to make that move. It is that simple. But if you are of the understanding, by doing this, my life will be enhanced, improved, filled with greater love and new exciting possibilities, then very different opportunities and circumstances and events can unfold for you. It's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. When we grieve someone, are we holding some of their energy back? No, when you're grieving somebody, I would it's kind of like that, but not the way that you're presenting it. When you find yourself in a state of grief, what's happening is you're feeling that person's physical absence, and your energy still wants to connect to their physical being. Because there's no physical being there, your mind concludes they don't exist. And what you need to do when you find that sensation of grieving, you need to tune into their energy, not try to tune into their physical body, but feel the presence of that loved one, because they have not left existence. They've left the physical medium of expressing that existence. They can't, in other words, they don't have a physical body. They can't express through a physical body, but they can express through vibration, image, and feeling energy. Think of a relative that's your loved one or your child or whoever's left your life prematurely, left this physical dimension. Think of their consciousness like a radio station, okay? And a radio station, when it's tuned into a certain channel, you can hear that channel really easy, and their body's tuned into that channel, so they're broadcasting. If I put two of those radios beside each other and they're both broadcasting the same channel, if I break one of the radio sets so it's not working anymore, the station still exists and the other one's still playing it. If I break the other radio set, the station is still there. We just don't have a physical medium through which we can hear that station playing. Please understand this, that you are not your body. You are a consciousness that comes through the physical medium of the body. You do so through the electrical system of energy, which it gets induced into the form of thought in the mind. But you are not your body, you're not your mind, you are a soul, a consciousness. And the loved one that you're grieving over has been very close to you. That's why you're feeling all this pain. You keep missing the body, but if you relax, breathe, and feel their presence around you, you can't feel them as a physical body, and they can't speak physical words because they don't have a physical body. But they still exist in consciousness, and you can shift your awareness to perceive their presence with you right now, especially when your grieving is most intense. That's when they're trying to comfort you and connect with you energetically, but you keep going into they're missing. But do that right now. Like, close your eyes, take a deep breath, relax your body, think about the persons that you want to connect to, And don't think about them as a body, but feel their energy. Just communicate them. I want to feel your presence. And you'll feel their presence in the way that you're able to, not in the way you can't. You can only feel people's energy in the way they are. Thank you for that super chat, Drusilla. Really appreciate it. Hi. I got bumped off Patreon after I lost my card and wasn't paying attention. Oops. I'm going to sign back up. Wonderful. Thank you, Drusilla. I'm excited about tonight, Master Buddha. Are you out of your mind? I love that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hello from Kingston. Yes. I've learned to be responsible for my thoughts, action, words. Thank you for your teachings. You're very, very welcome. My words and actions are mainly for the good of all around me. That's beautiful. I think it's a very important conscious thing to be conscious of. Like our government here in South Africa, we are in a not so good position after the elections. Understand that all the dark and evil things are happening on the planet. Give birth to good, because people are waking up to this insanity of the greed. I mean, that corporate greed. I mean, if you look at pharmaceutical companies and how much money they've made in the last few years, particularly, is grotesque. And how many people, well over 17 million people, have died because of the actions of the indirect actions of pharmaceutical companies worldwide. And these types of evil acts are waking people up. I know lots of people whose family members suddenly died. If you want to look something up fascinating, look up suddenly died. And as a result of that, people are waking up. They're realizing, wait a minute, we can't trust these people, these so-called governments that we've been giving our children to, giving our money to, giving our property to, giving our trust to. And people are beginning to realize there are some people you cannot trust, and there are people that you can trust. And there are governments around the world that are making massive changes. El Salvador, Argentina, massive changes in their social and political structure, getting rid of government and placing the responsibility for people back on themselves instead of the government. When governments take authority over our lives, you lose responsibility for your life, and then you have to accept what they give you, right? Even if you don't like it. Oh, thank you so much. But your government in South Africa, it's going to create awakening. Don't be afraid. It's going to be very uncomfortable for a while, but it's going to force a great awakening. It's not about race or color. Understand, what's happening on the planet is not about race or color. It's about transformation in consciousness. It's about the movement of good and evil, right and wrong. It's not about skin color. It's not about that at all. It's about beliefs, thoughts, and ideas that are either true or not so true. And a lot of people were convinced to believe that which was false was true. And a lot of people have been convinced to believe that which is true is false. Even Christian mythology talks about that. And we are at a very wonderful time right now as a collective consciousness, as a human species. We have a chance to invite the divine into our lives, or to continue with if I may use the term, to invite evil into our lives, which is what a lot of us have been doing. But you can't know good without evil, and you can't know evil without good. The polarities have been around as long as consciousness lived. The polarities exist to help us to make changes consciously, willfully, and deliberately, individually and collectively, right? It's a beautiful thing. Very simple system God created for us. A message from my guides about my career. The first words I heard is don't do it. Whatever it is that you're planning to do, don't do it. Not yet. Don't do it. Not yet. Wait about 2 months. Wait about 2 months before you do that. I have no idea what they're referring to, but that's what they want you to hear. Leslie's asking, may I have the link to tonight? Unstagnate the love I just heard. What guide said that? I like that guide. Hello, Leslie. It's so important. We get so convinced that you have to be afraid of life, and it's not true. Oh, wonderful. Lauren's asking, what is the best response to outside interference in my life? This is a great question, Lauren. The only response, again, you have to define what love is as a thought or an action. But when you got people impinging upon your life, getting very clear that on ideas like only love enters my space, I bless and wish good for all involved. Most people get afraid and anxious. Oh, what are they going to do to me? Or you can go to the opposite. I'm really excited about the opportunity that's being presented, even if I don't understand it. So for you, Lauren, that'll be very powerful to really understand that everything that's working in your life is working to your highest good, even the people trying to interfere. If you can get that into your consciousness, then how the people that are interfering will interact with your energy will change, because your energy's changed. You've changed your energy and seeing something interfering. Somehow, some way, these people are working for my highest good and I'm working for theirs. That belief, that idea will create a shift in the energy, which will ultimately cause a change in your situation and circumstance, right? Because thought organizes matter. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hello from New Zealand. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. Thank you. Did you like the song from Mother Mary? I know it's her from Silver and Blue. I haven't seen it yet. I will not. If you send me videos and stuff to look at, I will not look at them unless I actually know you really well and what you're about. I just don't want to compromise any of my technology, but you can point me to a link that might show me a website that I can detect as safe before I explore the video. But I love Mother Mary's music. Hi. Getting tired of this, want to move on to the next. The only reason you're getting tired is because you're somehow in opposition to what you really want and need. You're somehow in opposition to what you really want and need. Yes. This tired feeling is the resistance between where you are and where you want to go. This tiredness is the pull, because you're torn in two directions. You believe that your life is very difficult and painful, but there's this other option for your life to be dynamic and exciting and powerful and amazing. And you need to shift your will from the one that's not enriching you and say, what things can I say, do that will bring my energy up, that will excite me? And one of the foundational things they keep saying to us over and over again is, 1, learn to keep your body properly hydrated. 2, go out on the earth and ground, stand on the earth, get your feet on the earth, go grounding, hydration, meditation, get your mind quiet. So many people have their minds going yakety, yakety, yak all the time. You need to make time for your mind to be quiet. At the very least, learn to meditate. Teach your mind how to be still, quiet, and peaceful, so that you can begin to reconnect to who you are as a spiritual consciousness, right? You can reconnect yourself as a spiritual consciousness just by getting your mind to be a little quieter. In our masterclass series, we teach people how to meditate. We lay the foundation for them so they can begin the practice of training their mind and training their body into a different way of being for them. And you need to do that right now, because you're tired of the same stuff, different day, but you don't have a vision for the future. So you got nowhere to go. You feel trapped in the circle. And a lot of people are feeling trapped in the cycle of their mind, in the cycle of their lives, because they don't know how to think about a new life. And the moment you can consider or embrace the possibility that there's a better life for you, even if you can't see it, but begin to embrace the possibility that there's a life that is better for you, even if you can't see it at this moment. That thought, if you really bite into that thought, grab a hold of it, or picture what your better life would be like for you, any one of those things, you can stimulate a shift in the energy of your existing circumstances. And some really wonderful and remarkable things can unfold for you directly. Thank you so much. Appreciated. Thank you, Serge. Blessings, blessings, blessing. Good morning. Thank you so much, Serge. Appreciate all those blessings. Lots of blessings. Yeah, much love to you too. Babette saying I would love to visit El Salvador, South America is in general. Yeah, well, El Salvador, they've cut out the guy believes that there's a divine creator, that love is the way. They basically removed and arrested all the gangs. It's an amazing thing what they've done. And then he's begun to tear government apart, to reduce it down. Because when you create a government system that taxes people and takes their money and takes their money, you create a situation where people need to survive. When people need to survive, they do whatever they can to survive. So the crime rate goes up, violent crimes, other crimes go up because people are trying to get what they need because the governments are taking too much. And they are. Governments are the greedy arm of a different form of mafia, right? Governments are just the arms of the mafia. They're not the mafia, right? Governments are just another form of cartel, mafia, cartel, doesn't matter what you call it. But understand that that's the position that most countries in the world are in right now, where you've got governments too far controlling people's lives. But you can shift out of that really quickly too. Don't be tired of your life. You've got a beautiful life. Oh, yeah, go check out the Patreon event. Hi, Caitlin. Why do I keep dreaming about my ex Simon? Is he coming back or still in love with me? You still no. I'm being told to tell you, you are still holding on to him in your subconscious field. In your unconscious mind, you're still holding on to him. A really simple way to release that part of his energy, because I'm being told it's blocking you from bringing into your life something better than what you had before. That attachment to him is blocking what you want to bring into your life. So the way to release him is literally just hold an image of him in your mind's eye and just say to him, I release you from my life with love and grace. Really simple, really easy. Just say, I release you from my life with love and grace. And just do that 3 or 4 times. And as you're doing it, imagine him walking away happy. And imagine you feeling happy. But do that like for a couple of days, 3 or 4 times a day, where you just see him and say, I release you from my life with love and grace. And see him smiling and walking away. And do that for about 5 minutes, 3 times a day. And you won't have dreams like that. And then you'll open the door for the new opportunity that you have been waiting for. Because I'm being told to tell you, Simon is not the new opportunity you're waiting for. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, whatever that is. Uh, Hi guys, good to see you all. You're very welcome, darling. Thank you for that star. Thank you for sharing the live. Someone said, "I want to love and not judge." It's funny you're saying that, because Master Kuthumi says you must learn to evaluate what is good and what is not good. The function of love exclusively must be balanced with discernment. You must be able to discern what is of love and what is of fear. It can become very easy as to whom you should be with or not be with, and what you should affiliate yourself with and not affiliate yourself with, when you learn to distinguish what is of love and what is not of love. This is a process of discernment. You must learn this process of discernment. Learn to discern what is of love, what is not of love. Because everywhere around you and within you, there are only 2 functions of what you observe: love or fear. Every word, ever spoken, every action, every taken, every thought, every event is either a product of love or fear in your life. And you must learn to discern what is of love and what is of fear, both from yourself and from others. Do not align yourself to those that live from fear unless you choose to live from fear. Then that's a different story. Ah, you're welcome. Hi. Let's see here. I think we got a little pause going on TikTok here. Spinning wheel. Let's see. So Amanda's asking, hello, William. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate that. I don't know what's happening on TikTok. I'm just getting a spinning wheel. So maybe you're hearing me, maybe you're not hearing me, but whatever it is, it's happening. Amanda says, would love a personal message from Kuthumi during this time. Again, I would simply reiterate to you the value of understanding that you must learn to use your will deliberately and effectively, both upon yourself and upon the world, to identify what serves you and what does not serve you, and align yourself to the one that's most effective for your highest expression of yourself in the realm of love. But none of us will say to you that you must be of love or you must be of fear. We understand from our own experience which is more preferential to us. We understand that very well. But you must define for yourself through your experience and your creative process that which is good or not so good for you to think, to say, to do. It is quite wonderful, the position you are in right now in your life. Much has changed in a very short time. Thank you very much for sharing. Appreciate that. Yeah, TikTok was freezing. Well, I'm still seeing it freeze here. Let's see if I can, it won't even let me. Hang on, let's see if I can do that. Okay. Oh, there we go. Awesome. So I'm back again. So TikTok froze for a little bit. That's okay. That's the way it goes sometimes, right? You do not let yourself get concerned. New people are waking up every day. It's very true. Hi. I want to remind everybody too. Listen, you got 4 weeks left after today to sign up for Masterclass 101 Awakening. There are 1 to 2 billion people awakening on this planet right now. All the batshit crazy stuff you see going on, all that stuff is also waking people up. As insane as some of the stuff we're observing is, it's also facilitating an awakening. And Masterclass 101 facilitates that process of awakening, of introducing you to how to connect to different realms of information, your guides, your angels, ascended masters, learning how to use certain tools to activate clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, learning how to meditate, how to change the way you treat your body. We have a wonderful, one of our instructors is a wonderful dietitian and holistic healer that has well over 20 years of experience in her field, to introduce high vibrational foods to you, different ways of viewing the realm of nutrition for the body and holistic treatment of the body. It's really quite remarkable. And we have other mentors in the program that help you with practicing channeling and practicing yes, no's, different practices we have for activating these clairs. But you've only got 4 more weeks. Don't let the time pass before you realize, I wish I'd signed up. You got just 4 more weeks. Wonderful. Oh, thank you for that, Amanda. I really appreciate that super sticker. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you. Babette Chambers is saying, I'm finding it hard to release my cousin from my thoughts. She is in pain from childhood trauma and refuses to seek help and lashes out on people who love her. I had to block her. Hey, don't feel uncomfortable. What you can do for her is just send the wish that she be awakened to truth. Just hold her in your mind and say, I send you the energy of awakening to truth. You want to send that energy to her. Send the energy to your cousin, the energy of awakening to truth. And just repeat that. Anytime you think of her, don't feel bad, don't feel upset. Just say, I send the energy of truth and awakening to you. You can send her any kind of energy. In fact, whenever we think about anybody, we're directing energy towards them, and we'll also receive energy from them. Well, because once you think about somebody, you make an energetic connection to them instantaneously, right? But yeah, you want to really do that. Yes, your beautiful niece is safe. She is. I have no question. Just happy to be here. Well, I'm happy to be here too, Don. Any message from me from my angels about the health issues and if I need surgery or new meds? In answering this question, I must three-dimensional, before I let the answer come through, from a three-dimensional perspective, understand I'm not a medical professional or a medical doctor. I cannot comment on medication, but I can comment on this. If you learn how to release built up emotions, because a lot of people hold on to emotions from their suffering in the past. That's why a lot of people into mental dysfunction right now is they hold on to old emotions, old fears, or the fears that they've been given by society and through entertainment and things. If you learn to let go of some of the fear and anger that you're harboring in your body, especially up in the upper body area, you're holding a lot of, really heavy energy up there, a lot of uncomfortable emotions that you're holding in your upper body, and you need to learn how to release, let go of from the body, liberate those old emotions so the body can begin to correct and repair. If the body's in trauma or upset, it doesn't work the same way. If the body's relaxed and open and flowing, it can correct and repair. But a lot of people have unconscious tensions, unconscious fears that impede functioning of the body. Certain muscle groups are restricted. And over time, when you hold on to a lot of negative emotions, those negative emotions can cause dysfunction in your physiology. And they're not going to teach you this in school. Your doctor's not going to tell you this. They just don't. All they want to do is give you pills now. Doctors have gone from being what used to be healers to now just simply being drugstores. And again, I know they don't mean to do that because they've gotten lost and been misled by the organizations that control and monitor what doctors can or cannot do, what doctors can or cannot say, right? Including the pharmaceutical companies that assert an influence and gain great profit off the suffering of other people. But for you particularly right now, start letting go of some of those frustrations and fears you're holding on to, and you'll start to feel correction in your body. Like right now, sit up straight, take a long, slow, deep breath, and when you exhale, let your body relax. Feel your body relax. And do that again. Just keep breathing slowly and deeply, allowing the body to relax. And what happens when you direct the body to relax is it releases the physical tensions that certain unconscious emotions are holding in the body. So just by teaching the body to relax, to open up, to be still, just by that process, the body's resources are freed from dealing with the emotional energy that's unconsciously held in the body, and then can go into the realm of correction, which is what normally happens when you put your body to sleep at night. It normally goes into correction, but the vast majority of people have minds that go dreaming all night long, so the mind never gets to rest and the body never gets to rest, so it never gets to heal properly. But for you, begin to let go of all the tension in your body right now with your breath. Just consciously let every muscle, every nerve, every organ, every gland in your body completely relax, release, and let go. And just keep breathing and directing everything to relax like that. And if you fall asleep, that's a good thing, because then you're not in the way and the body will make corrections without the stresses of the mind and the memory and anticipation going on. Yeah. Oh, congratulations. That's wonderful, Drusilla. I'm so happy. Mary joining the 104. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Mary. Yeah, for all our students that have taken our 101, 102, or 103 master classes, our 104 Transcendence program begins with the orientation tomorrow. And then we continue every day for the next 3 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's an advanced program for students that are ready to move beyond the ego self. There's not really much more I can say about it than it's interacting with ascended masters and other multidimensional beings through lessons and meditation to elevate your consciousness to a higher expression of itself. Most people that are here right now, I believe you'd want to sign up for Masterclass 101 right now. It begins in 4 weeks, so that you can begin the process of training your mind and body to surrender to your will instead of controlling your will. How can I get over anger from the past? Great question. Every emotion that you've ever experienced, unless you've released it, is stored in your body. Your anger lives in a particular place in your body, and you need to learn how to release it from that part in the body. Our Masterclass 102, called Liberation, we focus exclusively on how to release old emotions out of the body. And again, sign up for Masterclass 101. Get introduced to the process, the beginning of the process of teaching you to teach your mind and body to be different than the world has conditioned them to be, to learn how to connect to your guides and angels, and to learn the process of meditation, to lay the foundation so that when you start going in to do deep inner work, it doesn't have to be a long, arduous, painful process. We've had students that have literally released decades of anger or rage from their body if they're willing to let it go. But some people hold on to it because it's familiar to them, right? I don't want to let my pain go. It's all I know. They don't mean to do that. It's just, it happens. Right? We get so familiar with our discomfort. But yeah, sign up. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. You'll be able to read all about the course, get all the details. I'm meditating and asking for one answer. Time is dragging. I'm being told that you keep expecting the answer to come in one way. You need to open up that the answer can be provided for you as a word, as a thought, as an image, or as an experience in the world around you. You need to broaden the way the answer comes, that it might not come in the meditation. The meditation is about saying, I'm open and receptive to receiving this answer for my life, for relationship, for my work. I'm open and receptive to receiving this information now in the way that I'm best able to receive it. And that's important. You want to make that stipulation. I'm open and receptive to receiving this information in the best way possible for me, so that it will come to you in the best possible way. And it does. It always will. It never doesn't work. This works. This stuff works. It's really simple. Oh, you're very welcome. Remember to subscribe to my channel. If you want, for those of you that are just arriving on TikTok, if you want to hear the full transmission from Master Kuthumi, you go to my YouTube channel afterwards and just look up under the live event section. It'll be called Your Time of Awakening, and it's Ascended Master Community Kuthumi, right? So you want to look that up, and if you want to watch the replay there. Yeah, Mary says, I get answers via angel numbers most of the time. That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Is my baby father ever going to respect me? Maria, I'm being told to tell you there's something to do with your fear and his. Yes, your fear and his anger are interconnected. And you're stuck in the loop of fear and anger together. You need to shift your energy from fear to love. The fear that you've been feeling is an unconscious fear. I'm also being told to tell you, acknowledge all the good that he does. Spend a whole week acknowledging everything good that he does. And watch what happens. You're very welcome. I'm very well today. Thank you. Yeah. A bit of a dinosaur sometimes. Yeah. Thank you for following. Appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate that, loves. Love is the way. It truly is. Will I ever be in love again? Hi, Lisa. That's a great question. The answer is absolutely. You are love. You are love. That's what you have to remember. If you've been so conditioned by our environment, to believe that what we need comes from outside, that we're looking for love, we're looking for happiness, we're looking for fulfillment out there. And you can find some really beautiful, happy, fulfilling experiences in the world, but you need to cultivate a deep love and self-respect. And in that place where you say, I am love, I am a function of love, and I attract love into my life. Like, you really want to remember that you are love. It's not something you're going to get. When you remember what you are, then you start to attract what you are around you. If you think you're afraid and angry, you attract those types of things, right? But you are love. Remember that. Consider that I am love. Consider that for yourself. I am love. Consider that thought for yourself, that you are love, and really get into the energy because that thought will generate an energy. When you start to generate that energy, then that energy begins to induce and affect time, space, and matter. My guardian angel John told me that emotion is the fifth state of energy, and it organizes all experiences that we have. Emotion organizes all matter, and you direct emotion with thought. So when you say, I am love, you literally transforming energy into that state of love. If you say, I'm afraid, you generate energy into that. If you say, I don't know what to do, you generate an energy into that. If you say, wow, things are going to get better for me, you generate energy into that. Really important that our thoughts structure emotional energy, that you understand this, that thought structures emotional energy in very precise and specific ways. So learning to monitor, regulate, and change your thinking mind is very important. And the Masterclass series focuses on that. All the Ascended Masters that come to us in the classes teach us over and over again how to train your mind, how you can train your mind, and how you can train your body to be what you need it to be, so that you can create what you want to experience here. Because you didn't come here to suffer, you came here to create. Every one of us did. Hi there. Maria and Loretta Ryan. Any messages for me today from Mother Mary? First words that came to me was, praise God. First word she gave me to give to you, praise God. Yes. Yes. She says we know that you sing praises to him, but also know that when you sing praises to him, he praises you also. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh, good. You can hear me. So glad to hear that. My beautiful niece is in an awful marriage, but won't leave as she is scared. Will she be safe? She will be safe, but you have to. He's got to. Yes, I know. I will. I will do that. Yes. Okay. So listen. If you can, you might want to help her out and get her to book a reading with me. Get your niece to book a reading with me, or talk to her and see if you can gift her a reading, and have her book a reading with me, because there's a lot of other elements here that, again, I don't want to let come out in this venue, but there's some elements that she needs to shift in order to shift the circumstances that she's in, because the fear she's experiencing is a product of something that's been going on within her for a long time. Anyway, it does not have to be a long and difficult process for her. Hi. Hundreds of earthquakes off the Pacific island of waking us up. All right. I bet you it is. Hi, Melissa. Good to see you. Yeah, there's lots of changes happening. The earth is reacting and changing and growing, just as we are reacting, changing, and growing the way we are as a species. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of these changes. Remember, human collective unconscious is mostly focused in fear rather than love. And that imbalance is reflected by environmental conditions. The emotional energy of fear organizes matter, time, and space very different than the emotion of love. Every human thought, every human behavior either a function of love or a function of fear. It's that simple. And it's the truth. So you must learn to realize it's time to align yourself to the function of love. Of course, you're free to choose to align yourself to fear, as many people have. But whatever you choose to align yourself to, that will determine your experiences, even environmentally, like earthquakes, volcanoes. There's a quality of consciousness in the human collective that affects what's happening on the planet. Our emotions collectively have an electrical effect upon the planet. And science can't discuss that because they don't have the instruments to measure how human emotion moves through time, space, and matter. They don't have the equipment to measure it, let alone measure the. They're just learning. They're being able to see farther and hear farther. The light, their perception of the light spectrum and sound spectrum is still very small. So they're only working on what they understand. But what a wonderful time, right? It's all either love or fear in our lives. Yeah, so for those of you that are on YouTube or TikTok, understand that right now there is a lot of ascension energy coming in the form of solar activity is bombarding the planet with energy that has for millions upon millions of years affected, changed, and transformed the life forms on this planet. The energy from the sun structures and restructures mind, emotion, DNA, and matter all the time. And in this case, for humanity, we have an option to use our free will to let this energy upgrade us, or we can let the energy downgrade us. And it's kind of going back and forth right now, but it's a wonderful time. Thanks for the roses, Amanda. Really appreciate it. May I come on the live, please? Hang on. Let's see, Ellie. Let's see if I can bring you on the live. Ellie, there you are. Okay. Yeah, we can bring you on the live. Hello, Ellie. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm just going to try and put my volume up. Is that a bit better?
Yeah, it's perfect. I can hear you perfectly clear.
You always look so healthy. It's like every time I look at you, you just seem to. It's the vibration that comes off of you, I think. Yeah, you just some days I look at you and I think, wow, he's really, really like alive in the moment, if that's what I can say.
Thank you.
Can I ask? I know I feel selfish asking this, and then I got on board with what you were saying about fear and love, and I realised that this is something that's coming from fear. My ex-husband passed away. We remained friends after we divorced. He had a stroke, and I didn't divorce him for another 2 years. Made sure he was well enough. Sort of made sure he was fed and healthy enough before he went back to stay with his mum. And I still saw her, and I kept in touch with him. We would go out for meals and celebrate birthdays and Christmases. Now, in his passing, he left a will, and it puts me down as the executor, but it was only signed by one witness and not dated. I've put it in the hands of a solicitor, and I'm wondering about the outcome. There was no bad energy between me and him, and I gave him a wonderful send-off. And people were contacting me afterwards to say, what was that music? And I said it was me singing. He'd never heard me sing, so that was like a gift for him. And on the day of the funeral, I realised how much I loved him.
Yeah.
And we did the best with the time that we had. From the time we got divorced, we forgave each other. We sat down and we spoke and we said, how did we get to this place? And I said, you know, I didn't want to divorce you, but with addiction, he ended up cheating on me. And it wasn't that I couldn't forgive him. I just couldn't be his wife anymore. But I still wanted to. When we got divorced, it was like a death. So for both of us, it was so painful that we still kept in contact and were there for each other.
I think I want to say, Ellie, I want to say, when you said I realized I loved him, that's past tense. You have to recognize you do love him. You realize you do love him.
Yes.
Yeah, this is important to keep your love in the present, because if you keep it in the past, you're going to feel pain. Like close your eyes now and acknowledge it. I love you. Like acknowledge that to his energy right now and watch what happens.
I was doing that at the funeral and afterwards, and I said, I don't think we could have done any better than we did. And I said, I do love you. And when I asked him, because I have the ability to hear messages, and I've asked him, first of all, I said, should I be processing this through the courts? Because you feel a bit sort of not tacky, but should you be entitled to your ex-husband's money if they've left the money to you? And I said, should I be doing this? And before I could finish my sentence, he answered me. He said, oh, why not? Now that's something that he would occasionally say in a flippant kind of manner.
Yep.
When I asked him, I said, can you protect me and help me through this process? Before I got to the end of my sentence, he said, you're on your own. And I felt like I'd touched flames of a fire. And it was like, ouch.
Yep.
So I don't know if he was saying the process will be difficult and I can't help you.
No, it won't be. It won't be. It's going to be a very smooth transition. Have no fear.
Oh, okay, because it's like I tried to put it out of my mind.
Speak. I want you to think and speak these words. The transition is going to be smooth, easy, and beneficial for everybody. Just think those words right now and watch what happens.
Yeah. I'm trying to focus on the positive.
Well, it's not about focusing on the positive. Keep your mind on that thought form organizes energy. This process will be easy and beneficial for all involved.
Yes.
That because then you're welcome, Ellie. You want to invoke that energy into your experience.
I can feel it already.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, it's like the darkness that I'm holding on to, the negativity that I'm bringing into it. It's like saying, well, if you keep perpetuating that thought, and you're bringing about that energy, and what you focus on will happen.
And even if you, and even evaluating it that way just sustains it. So you really just want to focus on this process will unfold in a very beneficent way for everybody involved. Like keep your attention on that. Anytime the other thoughts of the comparative, just go back to that, because that's the energy you want to sustain in the creation process, right?
Yes.
Wonderful, Ellie.
When we got divorced, he had said, you're not going to be able to cope. You're not going to be able to live somewhere else. You'll need me. And I said, I can promise you, I will do everything in my power to not put any financial burden on you during the divorce. And the unusual thing was I was out of the marital home and into a flat on my own within 2 months, which is very unheard of for renting from a council.
Yeah.
And I moved in with no carpets, no seats, no bed, nothing. So what I would do is I would go up to the marital home, sleep in the house during the day when he was at work, things back down to the flat at night. So I'd already slept, and then I could paint and decorate, unpack boxes during the night when everybody was asleep and I wasn't burdening anybody. So he didn't have to see me, and I would leave him little notes. I've left you some food in the fridge. And I would maybe see him once a week. And it was hard getting a divorce after 15 years.
It was very painful.
It was did it with as much.
Yeah. It was very painful
did it with as much respect for each other. Sorry?
It was painful for both of you because you both loved each other, and he didn't understand why he did what he did.
Yes.
He didn't understand why.
Alcohol.
Yep.
Yeah, I read a book called The Alcoholic Marriage, and it set me free. That in those moments when he was approached by women asking, they know who's got money, they know what they look like, and it's down to addiction. They have one addiction that needs fed, and he would never have done that sober. It was always when he was so drunk he could hardly stand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can tell me if it's an energy of rejection from his past that made him do that.
Well, it certainly is anger, which is what caused the stroke. That type of energy sustained in the body will cause something to go eventually, right? He had a lot of anger that he was carrying around for a long time. He's not holding on to it now. But what you need to do,
he's at peace.
Yeah, he's at peace, but you need to reconcile the love that you still feel for them, and that it's okay to still love him, but also be open to receiving more love too.
Yeah, I don't. I think my life will be on my own for the rest of my days. I can't see me. I don't think I want to be with anybody. Although I look quite young for my photograph. I'm actually 60.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I look younger. I have got a good vibration on a good day, and I match up with spiritual people just now. We have fascinating conversations, and it's just when I'm on my own, and I am lonely, but I'm probably just not ready for anything.
Well, it'll happen when you least expect it. I'm being told to tell you that right now. And Ellie, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And wish you a wonderful and a joyful day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
You're welcome, love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. Well, now I think we're just about done for the day. I think I'll take one more question from YouTube. Van Twinkle is asking, I had 5 Gesundheit, Mrs. Audley. I had 5 earlier today. Clearing cobwebs. Much gratitude, you guys. Much gratitude to you too, darling. Does Master Kuthumi have anything to say? Any guidance for me? Listen to the original message, Babette. Go back and listen to the original message. I'll take 2 more questions from TikTok and we'll call it a day. Thank you so much. Thank you. A subconscious still has that song looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah, well, you can still let it go. You can decide, I'm looking for love in all the right places. Change the song. Change the lyrics of the song. Yeah, there are connection issues right now. There's lots of ascension energy hitting the planet right now. Science calls it coronal mass ejections, photons, ultraviolet radiation, cosmic radiation, gamma radiation. Doesn't matter what label you give it. We know that it transforms and changes consciousness and life on this planet. We call it ascension energy. What do I do if I'm on the verge of a huge positive transformation and huge life shift and awakening? Embrace it, beautiful soul. Embrace it. Embrace it. And again, if you want, sign up for our masterclass 101, begins in 4 weeks. Get involved in a community that's likewise focused on that process of ascension. It can prove to be very helpful during that change. It's wonderful to hear. So grateful. Of course, you can liberate anger from your body. You just have to remember, you can hold on to anger, you can release anger. You can hold on to fear, you can release fear. You can hold on to guilt, you can release it. Emotions can be released from the body. Remember that. Emotions can be released from your body. You don't have to be stuck with those emotions your whole life. You can change emotions from one state into another, right? You can. I know this personally. There we go. What does it mean when you're seeing orbs with both your eyes? It means you're tuning into the other dimensional frequencies of these beings that are here now. Some of them appears orbs, flashes of light, flashes of color, sequences of numbers. They have different ways of reaching us. But I'm being told to tell you that you're actually perceiving the form that they can take for you to perceive. So it's normal. You'll be seeing more of them. Yes, somebody's telling me they're going to make an appearance to you. Someone's asking, how do I get off my psychological medication time-wise, please? This is a great question. And again, I'm not a medical professional, but you want to begin exploring ways, because a lot of people are on psychological medicines because they do not know how to manage their emotional energy. They've never been taught. They don't teach us how to manage emotional energy in schools. Nobody's taught in school how to manage anger, fear, guilt, and shame. So you have to learn to first take authority over your thinking mind and learn how to release old emotions from the body. We've had many students that come into our program that will leave medications behind as they gain awareness that they are able to run their own mind and body, and that can actually change their emotional energy. Memories, the memory of past experiences was often responsible for why we hold on to old emotions. Those emotions from old experiences can be released from the body, and when they're released in the body, they're not there anymore. The need for then subjugating or hiding those emotions from ourselves no longer becomes necessary when you know how to release them from your body. Great question, and I'm again honored and privileged to connect to all of you guys today. There will be no shortcuts for your soul tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. on Shortcuts for Your Soul, and I'll look forward to seeing all of you guys on Monday. Have yourselves a joyful day, and we can remember, like, subscribe, share, follow, leave a comment about what you've heard today, and anything you can do, share this on social media that can help get this information out to other people. This is the time of ascension. Human collective unconsciousness must shift from fear to love, as each one will create very different experiences in time, space, and matter. And remember for yourself today, today's a brand new day, and now's a brand new moment. I want to wish you all much, much love, and I will see you on Monday. Bye for now.